Well, a lot to talk about. PDC buying the BDO, let's start with that. Is it a real goer? That's what darts fans are asking.
We hope so, Stuart. It's an exciting opportunity, we think, to unify the game. Darts, like any sport, benefits from being controlled by one body rather than being dissected. And we think now the disparity between the professional game and the amateur game is such that if it all came under one body, we could look to integrate the two together in such a way that would provide a genuine progression for players from the youth who pick up a dart for the first time through to becoming a world champion. We think the PDC, or we know the PDC's got the commercial ability to do this. We've proven over the recent years with our television progress and with our Pro Tour that's now firmly established that we can deliver top-class darts, and there's no question that our darts events are the best in the world. And really, it's time, we think, for everything to come under one umbrella and progress in the manner that everybody who's involved in the game of darts wants it to.
Is this if you like, a once-in-a-lifetime offer? I mean, for the BDO, you take it now, or that's it?
I'm not sure about that necessarily. We think the time is right now. We think we have got what it takes to control the sport, full stop. But I wouldn't say that if this offer was to come to nothing at the moment, I wouldn't say that would rule anything out in the future.
Because a lot of the decisions on the way it'll go will come down to the BDO county associations, won't it? I mean, £1 million to buy it out, £1 million for grassroots.
Absolutely. I mean, everything's subject to contract, and we'd obviously want to sit down and do due diligence to make sure that we knew what we were getting into. But we see the counties as an important part of darts in the UK. We see the WDF system as having its own merits as well with the international spread of the game. And we genuinely believe that if darts was run by the PDC from top to bottom, that it would be able to progress better than it can do at the moment.
And ultimately that would mean one World Championship.
It would, yeah. I mean, that's one of the key aims, one World Championship. Everything to come down to having one World Champion at the end of the year, one ultimate aim, one ultimate goal. In the eyes of the public, everybody knows Phil Taylor's the best player in the world, and whoever's the PDC World Champion at any given time is generally recognised as the World Champion. But nevertheless, just to be able to say there is one World Championship is important.
Well, talking of the World Championship, the first ever £1 million darts tournament coming up. I mean, I've been doing this for 7 years. Who would have believed it?
It's fantastic, isn't it? We're going to have a great Christmas at Alexandra Palace. I mean, 35,000 people are going to be there, £1 million worth of prize money. It's going to be a great way to see out 2009 and bring in 2010 with the best players in the world. We'll have well over 20 countries represented, people coming from every corner of the globe to ply their sport this year. And it's just going to be a thrilling tournament. The entertainment factor is going to be high. The quality of TV presentation from Sky Sports is going to be as high as ever. And nobody's going to fail to have a good time. It's just going to be great.
Is darts recession-proof? I mean, this year's been difficult for a lot of people, for a lot of sports, but so far darts appears to have got away scot-free.
Well, ticket sales would show that. You know, TV figures would show that. We're still number one in the eyes of the public, and that is the most important thing. But complacency is what could be our downfall, and we won't fall into that trap. We'll continue working to get new sponsors, to get new broadcast partners, to sell more tickets, and to keep delivering the best products. At the moment, touch wood, we've been all right during the economic downturn, but that's not to say that we're going to be resting on our laurels. We want to keep progressing. We don't just want to stay where we are at the moment. We want to go genuinely global. We want to keep introducing more events, increasing the prize money, producing better players, and we'll continue to strive for that.
So what is next? What do you want to do next?
We're earmarking new markets. We see Asia as having big potential for us. We'd like to do something out there, maybe along the lines of what we've been doing in South Africa over recent years. Australia has potential. We'd like to reevaluate what we do in America, try and see if we can come up with something to make that more successful than it has been, perhaps. Europe, obviously, is a hugely growing market for us. The traditional strongholds of Holland and Germany remain so, but also Eastern Europe, Southern Europe, Scandinavia, they're all territories with a strong darts foundation, which are now perhaps ready to make that step from the game as a participation to being an audience sport as well. That's a key thing in a lot of territories in which we go. People are used to playing, but they're not so used to sitting there watching and cheering, and that's part of the process as well, to getting them on from being involved at one level to then sitting there and watching the best exponents of the game. And that's worked so well for us in South Africa, and it's a model we think we can take elsewhere too.
So that means more TV coverage and expanding it more?
Yeah, it's crucial wherever we go to be on TV in those countries. There's no point going halfway around the world just to put something on TV in the UK. We've got to hit the local markets. We've got to get into local sponsors, get the local federations and leagues supporting us by providing players for qualifying tournaments and things like that, and making sure that the local or the people in that country can watch it on one of their own channels. That's crucial.
Financially, you say at the moment everything's good, and we know from what Barry Hearn has said in the past, I mean, there is money ring-fenced. I mean, Absolutely. If you like, you have got a savings account in case things don't go right.
We've learnt from mistakes that other sports have maybe made in the past, and we're always conscious of a rainy day coming along, and we want to make sure that when it does, that we can still pay the prize money, we can still pay the wages, we can still put the events on, because it would be irresponsible of us to assume that everything's going to carry on at 100% forever. So that by putting money aside for if something was to go wrong, we are ensuring that the future of professional darts is in safe hands.
When you look at what's happened, I guess, in the past to snooker, what are you trying to do to make sure that doesn't happen to darts?
We have to keep people entertained. If you come to any of our events, you'll see that the crowd are first and foremost, they are entertained. We have to keep it enjoyable. We have to come up with fresh, new, innovative staging ideas, bring different things into darts that hasn't been there in the past. And that doesn't mean make it Mickey Mouse or jokey. It means make it entertaining and fun, but keeping the ultimate goal of the best players in the world on stage as an important backdrop to something that is all round considered a good day out.
I've got to ask you, does darts still need Philip Taylor?
I mean, Phil is by far and away the best player in history, as the stats prove. He's the player that most people are aware of. He's a fantastic ambassador for the game. He's the ultimate professional, extremely dedicated, a superb champion. But obviously he's not going to go on forever. So the question is, will he be replaced by somebody who proves as dominant? Probably not. But if there can be half a dozen or so players coming up behind him who can all challenge regularly for titles, then that'll be exciting too.
Do you see this darts success story as if you like, with legs? It'll just keep on running and running and running?
Yeah, I mean, it's coming to the fore as the number one indoor sport in the UK, and that's something we're trying to develop overseas, as I've said as well. But there's no reason to say why we can't keep selling out the main arenas, and we can't keep putting on 10, 15-day tournaments that capture the public's imagination, because, as I say, while it's still fun, while it's still top class, then people will want to see it. Other sports have maybe found themselves getting a bit dull, or they've found that the star names have drifted away and things like that. We're trying to promote new personalities, bring new players into the public's imagination as well, keeping the media coverage up, keeping ourselves on TV as much as we can, and just get people into darts. There's been an upsurge in participation at amateur levels as well, because people can see the money that's on offer now. You can win £200,000 by being our world champion. You can win £1 million a year by being one of our best players in the world, and that's enough of a draw for anyone.